Hello, Seiichi Arata. If you complain that you don't earn enough, well, the solution is quite simple and logical. Resign from your current job and accept an offer that pays you more. Well, you don't have another offer that pays more for your work. So are you really not earning enough? Let's think about it. The definition of too little, medium, or a lot depends on other options. A salary is considered low when there are other jobs that pay more for a similar activity. The problem is when there are no other offers promising to pay more, and yet you are sincerely dissatisfied and you feel like you're not earning the amount you want. It is normal to long for a higher salary and greater recognition. It is normal to have professional ambitions. In fact, it is a very good thing to aspire to improve your quality of life. However, there is a danger. Playing the victim makes people get stuck in situations where they are vulnerable and dependent. So be careful. Don't waste your time just complaining to yourself or imagining how the ideal world should be. Instead, just think about how the world actually is. And based on your findings about how the world is, implement the most efficient strategies to increase your financial gain. This is the pragmatic, hands-on path that implements real solutions. There are only 3 options for those who want to have a higher salary. Choose your path and take action. The value of a salary depends on a number of factors, including the market in which you operate, the place where you work, and your professional qualifications. But what is the main factor that decides how much a company will pay you? It is the law of supply and demand. If there are many professionals in a market offering exactly the same service, then there is a large supply of labor, and therefore the salary will be low. This happens because of the law of supply and demand. It makes no sense for a company to offer a high salary to worker A when worker B accepts a lower salary, providing basically the same service. However, if there are not many professionals offering that type of service, or if the demand for employees is much higher than the supply of employees, then they can negotiate a higher salary with the company. The employee does not even have to knock on the boss's door to ask for a raise. Some companies are simply forced to raise the salary offered in order to fill vacancies. Certain companies officially agree among themselves to not be actively recruiting from each other's employees in order to avoid losing talent and increasing the salaries of everybody. There are even economic defense laws that prohibit the formation of cartels, and companies can be punished for entering into this type of agreement. But that is a topic for another day. Let's focus on what you can do. Now that we're clear that wages are mainly determined by the law of supply and demand, now we can move on to devise an effective strategy for you to earn more. And there are only 3 options when you think that you earn too little. 1, you can negotiate a raise at your current company. Number 2, you can seek a raise by moving to another company. And 3, if the other options don't work, you have to prepare to make better attempts. Let me explain now each one of these strategies in more detail. To increase your salary, the first thing you can do is to negotiate with the company that you already work for. There are many details for that. We're going to be exploring all of these together in the Double Your Salary course. You can find more details in arata.se/DYS. In short, if you successfully negotiate your raise, congratulations, celebrate. You got a salary increase in a direct and objective way, in a much more effective way than, complaining to your friends or criticizing the evil business owners on social media. However, you could be just the right person, but in the wrong place. If you have good qualifications, the second option may be more efficient. Accept a job offer from another company which is already prepared to pay you more. In the Double Your Salary course, we also have guided activities to explain how to implement this step. And if you then accept a better offer at another company, congratulations, celebrate. You got a salary increase at another company, and that was pragmatic, was going straight to the point without getting lost in long ramblings about the injustice of the capitalist system, about how society should be different and how the rich exploit the poor. And, being pragmatic is just looking at the current world as it is and finding the most efficient solution to solve your problem. By accepting an offer that pays more, you have solved your problem. And also you made it very clear to your former employer that they must increase salaries in order to avoid losing talent to the competition. Option 1, negotiate a raise at your current company. And option 2, to move to another company that pays more, are pretty obvious, right? Now we need some calm reflection, maybe a cup of tea. If you didn't get a raise at your current company and you didn't get a job somewhere else that pays better, that leaves us the third option, which is gratitude and improvement. You need to be grateful that you have a job, understanding that you're getting paid according to the market level, and most importantly, you have to make improvements to increase your pay by negotiating either in the current job or accepting a better offer. If no other company is interested in paying more, well, that means you're not earning too little. Refusing to accept reality is a guaranteed way to live an unfulfilled life. That is why it is so important to detach yourself and make an objective analysis. Think with me and assess the following situation. You tried to negotiate your salary with your current company, but it was pretty clear they were not willing to pay you more. You tried to look for other jobs, but no other company is willing to offer you a higher salary. So what does this mean? Logically, it means that you are earning exactly what your market considers adequate for what you have to offer right now as a professional. When nobody wants to pay you more, the only way to get a raise is to offer something unique to the market that makes companies think that it is worth paying a higher salary. You can geographically move to another place where there is maybe more demand for employees and therefore higher salaries. Or maybe you can work online for clients in other areas that are willing to pay more. You can also invest in knowledge. You can invest in courses, equipment, and training to do your work in a more qualified way to bring concrete results to the company where you work. But it is not all about the final work. You can also improve general and interpersonal skills that are not directly linked to your final work. This includes skills like public speaking, presenting yourself, good communication with clients, with colleagues, punctuality, organization. All these factors are also taken into consideration whenever a company needs to evaluate an employee. Every job values different skills. Just look at what your market really values so you avoid wasting your time on irrelevant details, and then you can focus on improving the skills that are needed in your field. You need to be qualified and have unique skills to successfully apply for jobs that pay more. Now, keep in mind that this professional development is a process that takes time. It requires patience and dedication. And in the meantime, the best thing you can do is to be grateful for your current job and understand that you are not earning little compared to what you have to offer. Remaining humble allows you to develop yourself and also to become more qualified and earn more. With your current job, you have a source of income to invest in yourself and also have the opportunity to practice to become a better employee. Be careful to not think the wrong way, to think in the right way. Take responsibility to change and earn more. In the previous episode of this series, Hello, Sei Charata, we spoke about how the words that you use influence the way you think and your attitude towards life. For example, the professionals who say phrases like, the sales are pretty low this month, or the team members, they are not cooperating, or there was not enough time to finish the report. They're playing themselves as victims of circumstances. In the same way, those who complain that, this job pays too little, the company doesn't value me, the market is too saturated, they're actually pointing the finger outward and they're blaming external events beyond their control. But if you really want to earn more, acting like a victim and being irresponsible, it's not going to help. Instead, start talking and thinking in an active way, as you are the protagonist of your own reality. The wrong way of thinking is to think like a child who always needs help and protection. The right way of thinking is to think like an adult, taking responsibility, being an agent of transformation and changing your own future. And finally, the most important point, find a realistic balance. It is also wrong to delude yourself with motivational speeches, believing that anything is possible. Obviously, there are limitations, and it is up to you to be mature and humble and pragmatic enough to realize what the limits and opportunities are and act with patience and determination, always improving. Nearly all employees feel they should earn more than they do, but most of them just sit around complaining without doing anything about it. Don't be one of them. If you really want to earn more, negotiate a raise with your company, or look for a job at another company that pays more. If neither of these two options work out, well, you should first be grateful for the salary that you have, and then invest in becoming more qualified to have a unique skill that will make companies pay you more. In the Double Your Salary course, you will find out exactly which areas to improve in your professional life, and will discover also negotiation techniques to get higher salaries at your company or at a new job. You can visit the link to watch a special class from the Double Your Salary course at arata.se/DYS.